In this video, I'm going to talk about Tension Myositis Syndrome, or TMS. This is something most people don't know about, but it is a condition where you're actually able to exaggerate or create these symptoms with your mind, with your perception, right? And this is from a chronically activated nervous system, chronically perceiving danger, chronically perceiving threats in your environment, and always being in a place where you're trying to protect yourself from things. And when this happens, your nervous system becomes hyperactivated and it becomes able to send signals easily to create pain and create symptoms. And I've seen this with people who have stress, where they have this perception of something that's threatening to them. I've absolutely gone through it myself when I had mold and fear of mold and all the things that, would happen to me when I'd see my daughter get sick. And the reality is, you can create symptoms with your mind. There's no question about it. What happens is people often create symptoms with their mind because they observe something that's traumatic or observe something that reminds them of some stress or trauma that's unresolved. And then what happens is the symptoms will start to manifest in a certain area over and over again based upon what this emotion is: anger, resentment, sadness, whatever it is that keeps on building and building, and then it manifests in the form of a symptom. Right, in the form of a symptom. And the person thinks that the symptom then is caused by some condition or something else, and they don't believe that it has anything to do with what they're thinking. So they keep focusing on it and focusing on it. And as they focus on it, it keeps growing and growing, because this is the law of attraction. Anything you focus on grows, it keeps growing. So when you have symptoms and you focus on them, they keep growing. It's your brain looking at something saying, there is a threat present, there's a concern here. Now, what do? You send inflammatory molecules and it flares up the area that's flared up the most recently, and it has the longest inflammatory history, the most recent inflammatory history there. So this is what happens with a lot of people, They end up getting stressed, they get pushed over the edge, they perceive something as threatening, and they think that they're going to end up being really sick or really affected by it, and they send themselves into a flare that lasts for an extended period of time. I've seen it with people who have flares that last 2-3 weeks with something as simple as moving furniture, and then they get stuck for 2-3 weeks in a flare. If this sounds like you, where your flares are lasting at abnormal periods of time, then a lot of this has to do with your fear and stress related to observing the symptoms. Now, are the symptoms really happening? Yes, they're really happening. But when you see the symptoms, there's a storyline that's kicking in. There's a certain process that you've gone through hundreds of times when the symptoms have popped up. And when you see them, you start kicking that into gear, and your nervous system becomes threatened, and then it sends out messages of feeling stress. The stress hormones go out, the adrenaline, the histamine, all these things go out. And guess what? That then inflames that area. And then you look at this area, as I said before, and you see it, and you keep observing it. As you pay attention to it, it gets worse. And you realize the only way to really get over these symptoms is to treat them indifferently. Realize that this is your brain playing a trick on you, that any pain that you have, it's just temporary, that it's getting better because your body heals itself. You don't want to buy into the idea that your body is broken, that there's something wrong with your body that needs to be fixed. You just got to notice the symptom, observe it, see if there's anything that you did in your diet, in your life, in your thinking. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling, like you were concerned about something, clearly evaluate your diet, your environment, these other things. But you have to realize that these thoughts, this perception of danger, this fear, this concern about these things, they can actually transfer. They can cause symptoms. They could turn into symptoms. They can manifest symptoms. And if they don't manifest as symptoms, they'll make symptoms you have currently much worse. And this is why it's really important to start working on brain retraining and treating TMS with different techniques. So I'll talk more about this in future videos. Thanks for watching. This is just for beginners. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. My website is endsickness.org. I have hundreds of articles and videos on there teaching you how to heal yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. Take care.